Hey, come on, let's go. Let's all go to the Cowboy Jack show. Hey, come on, let's go. Let's all go to the Cowboy Jack show. Cowboy Jack, he wears a cowboy hat. He likes to count and talk about everything he knows. Hey, come on, let's go. Let's all go to the Cowboy Jack show.
Howdy cowboys and cowgirls, I'm Cowboy Jack, and today I'm really excited. We're gonna learn some amazing things today. Do you guys see where we're at? Take a look. That's right, we're with my friend Jenny at the Rustic Peach in Willis, Texas. We're gonna learn all about woodworking. It's gonna be a blast. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Let's get over here. Oh, hey Jenny, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Great, thanks for having me today.
Yes, sir.
So what are we gonna be doing with you?
So we are going to make a sign today.
Make a sign?
We are gonna make a sign.
That's cool.
We are gonna make a sign with your face on it.
My face?
Your face.
All right, I like it already.
And it says Cowboy Jack.
That is so cool.
Yes, so we're going to start. We're gonna put some aprons on here in a second so we don't get our clothes all dirty.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to mess up this vest, right?
It's pretty amazing. We don't want to mess it up. And then we will, we're going to sand this wood and then we will put it in the laser.
Laser?
I have a laser.
Guys, we're gonna get to see a real laser. That's so cool.
It is. And then it will engrave your face on here. And while it is doing that, then we are going to paint another piece of wood so that can go in the laser and it can cut out your name.
What?
So it'll look like it's standing off the sign a little
bit. You get to do all the cool things here. This is really exciting.
It is.
So how long have you been doing this kind of stuff?
I've been doing this about 7 years.
Cowboys and cowgirls, 7 years is a long time. That's older than Cowboy Caden.
Yep.
Wow. You can have a lot of different jobs in life, right? Like you could work in an office, you could be a doctor, a lawyer, anything. But skilled trades, I absolutely love skilled trades, and this is absolutely a skilled trade.
It is.
Me, Cowboy Jack, I mean, I'm an adult, but I have no idea how you do any of this stuff, so I'm so excited to get to see it today.
It's fun. It is. It's fun to see, and it's fun to see all the different tools that we can use to make an idea come to life.
Guys, I just want to show you this real quick because this is the piece of wood we'll be working with, but you won't even recognize it pretty soon. It's going to be something really cool. All right, well, do we need to go get those aprons?
We do.
All right. Wow, looks like you even have one fit for Cowboy Jack.
I do.
Do I get this one?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Oh, man. Are you guys laughing at my hair? All right, let me put this on real quick. They love laughing at my hair. All right. Wow, it's kind of a challenge to tie it behind your back, but I think I did a good job. All right, just like loop, swoop, and pull, just like tying our shoes.
Yes.
All right, I'm aproned up.
All right, so what we're going to do first is we are going to sand our piece of wood, make sure it's good and smooth.
Okay.
And ready to go on the laser.
Well, let's do it.
Okay, let me grab my sander. Okay, so we have our sander here.
So this is a sander?
This is a sander. And
so that must be the sandpaper right there.
It is.
Oh, wow, it feels really scratchy.
It does. Think of like a cat's tongue.
Ooh, yeah.
I know. But there are what's called grits of sandpaper. So there's really soft sandpaper and it makes it very smooth. Then there's also very rough sandpaper. So if you pick up a handful of sand, that's what it feels like.
Okay.
So if you have a bunch of cuts or really rough wood that you want to sand down and make smooth, you're going to start with your really rough,
really gritty stuff.
Really gritty sandpaper.
Okay. And then work your way down to the smoother stuff.
Yes. Okay. So, but on sandpaper, the lower the number, so the smaller the number,
the more gritty it is?
Yes. And the higher the number, the finer the grit.
That is so cool.
This is, the number on this one is 220. That's about a middle ground for sandpaper.
Okay.
It's probably the most common. And now, and then this is the little dust collector right here.
That's probably a big important part of it.
It is, because if you take it off,
There's a whole lot of dust coming out of that.
A whole lot of dust is going to come out, and you're going to breathe it in, and we definitely don't want that.
Okay.
So, all right, so we're going to turn it on, and you're just going to go like this.
You want me to do it?
I want you to do it.
Okay.
You can do it. I can show you to start.
Hey, if you have faith in me, I'll just get at it.
I have all the faith in the world, but number one rule in a wood shop is safety.
I agree. Safety is really important.
Yes. So there is always the potential of something flying up and hitting you in the face.
Yeah.
So you always want to wear eye protection, and when you're running equipment, you want to wear ear protection because some of this equipment can get very, very loud. So we're going to start putting our safety glasses on.
All right, safety glasses on.
You look fancy.
I feel like I look fancy. This is great.
Okay, so you're going to turn it on, and then you're just going to go like this, and you can go in circles, you can go back and forth just until you get rid of these marks and it feels smooth. So feel it right now. You can kind of feel the fibers of the wood.
Yeah.
Now after that, it's going to feel like silk.
Okay, I'm ready to make it like silk.
And all you got to do is push that button.
Okay. Well, cowboys and cowgirls, here goes nothing. Let's do some sanding. Wow. I know I'm not done yet, but I just want to say I feel like Bob Vila right now. Right? Nobody knows who he is. Wow, that was really cool. How does it look?
Looks fantastic. Looks great. Can
Wow.
you feel a difference when you touch it?
I really can. I mean, it feels like a bowling alley now. It's so
Almost,
smooth.
yeah. So, and that, with any kind of woodworking, there is always a lot of sanding. Whether you're using, this is called a palm sander or an orbital sander.
Okay.
So, and then there's belt sanders, which are the big long ones, and you go
Those are
like
the ones that
this.
if you accidentally turn them on, they'll run across the table.
It'll take off. So now that we are done with this, we're going to put a giant piece of masking tape over it.
Okay.
So, and that will protect the wood when we go to engrave it.
Okay.
All right, let me grab that. Okay, so we're done with the safety glasses part. If you want to take them off, we want.
Well, I mean, they're so stylish. I might
just. But you don't need them for this moment. But this is like, it's just giant masking tape.
That is really cool.
So, and this is what I use. I'm gonna hold that.
Sure.
To protect.
Wow, it's really sticky too.
It is, and it's gonna stick to the wood. And then we'll just flip it over. And it doesn't have to go on here real exact. It's close enough.
Am I good over here?
Yes, sir. It's fine.
I'm gonna let you do that part. I don't want to mess it up.
No, you can't mess it up, don't worry. So this is, I don't know what these things are actually called. I call it a squeegee.
Yeah, well they use that same kind of tool to put tinting on your window on your car.
Oh yeah.
And things like that.
Okay, they do. I've used this one so much that it has a little divot or a little, it's warped. I don't even know how you would say that.
In fact, I remember when we were doing the wallpaper in Cowgirl Addison's room, we used a tool just like that.
Oh yeah, yes you would, okay. To attach it to the wall with the glue. Or the peel and stick, whichever y'all use.
It was peel and stick.
Let's see. Well, I'm not going to be engraving there, so that's okay. So now we're going to go over to the laser and we're going to put it in there, and then we'll get it lined up and get
I'm
going.
so excited about the laser. I can't stop thinking about it. So let's get going.
Okay.
Hey, cowboys and cowgirls, come over here. Check this out. So this is Miss Jenny's laser here at the Rustic Peach. This is so cool. I mean, I didn't know what to expect when she told me she had a laser, but look at this thing. This is a huge machine.
It is very big. The fun part about this is it can go very deep, so I can engrave tall pieces, or I can engrave really long pieces because there's a drawer on the back that comes out. It's called a pass-through, and so the wood can go all the way through. So I'm going to turn it on.
Whew, the laser's engaged. Look at that, guys. You see how that's moving? Wow, you can actually smell like burned wood in there.
Yes, you can.
That is so cool.
So there is actually, on the back of the laser, there is an exhaust hose that goes outside.
Okay.
So all the fumes from anything I'm working on go outside. I'm not breathing them inside. So
that's good.
It's very good. Now, with the laser, you have different directions. You have X, which is it goes left to right. You have Y, which goes front to back, and then Z goes up and down.
XYZ axis.
XYZ
That's
axis.
really cool.
Yes.
When you guys get to things like geometry and some algebra, you'll learn all about the X and Y, and maybe even the Z axis.
Yes, and it was, I loved geometry when I took it in school, but I haven't had to use it in a really long time.
Well, now it's coming in pretty handy, isn't it?
It comes in handy, as does fractions.
Oh, oof.
I use a lot of fractions.
You know what? All of us have our strengths, right? And some people are really good at science, some people are really good at math. But what I found is that if you try really hard and you practice, anybody can be good at anything.
Absolutely. So we're going to press the Z axis over here.
Okay.
And we're going to make the whole bed go down.
Wow, look at that. That is really cool.
So what we're going to do is we're going to find our center on this board.
Okay.
Are you ready to use a tape measure?
Sure.
Okay. So you can go ahead and just set it on the bed. And you're going to measure side to side.
All right, side to side, it looks like we are what?
Should be about 24 inches.
Yep.
Okay. So you're going, what's half of 24?
Half of 24. 24 divided by 12, divided by 2 is 12.
Correct. Okay, and then you're going to measure top to bottom.
Top to bottom. That's going to be just over a foot, about 1.5 feet, right?
1.25 feet.
1.25 feet.
Yes. So 12 inches, 12.25. So half of a quarter is 1/8.
Okay.
So you're going, and see on a tape measure, thankfully it tells you your fractions here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just going to find 6 1/8.
All right.
And just make a little mark.
Right there.
And there we go. And we
Wow.
have the center of our board.
That is really cool. Hey, cowboys and cowgirls, real quick, I just want to remind you of something real quick, because this comes up at my house all the time. I use tape measures around the house from time to time, and they can actually be pretty dangerous. So if you see one lying around, don't go playing with it. It's meant to retract into its case, but it can actually do that really fast, and these edges can be super sharp, so I wouldn't want you to cut yourself. So probably best to just let an adult use a tape measure.
Absolutely. Also, when this retracts back in, this part can hit your fingers and it hurts really
Yes,
bad.
it can. I have experienced that, and it's no fun. So learn from our experiences and make sure you protect yourself.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to switch places with you real
All right.
quick. And I'm going to pull up the software. This is also a handy dandy remote, so I don't have to come over to the laser every time. I can come over here and I can move it.
And that is so cool how this moves on the XYZ axis.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when I was growing up, my own dad has a machine shop still to this day.
Oh, wow.
And I learned a lot by working on his CNC machines.
I have a CNC machine.
Do you?
I do. It's right over there.
Wow.
That is one of the first big investments that I made in this shop.
CNCs are really fun.
They are fun. They're a lot of fun to watch and see what you can come up with. Okay, so another thing that we're going to do when we do your sign is we're going to engrave your face, like I told you, and we're also going to what's called score or outline where your letters are going to go.
Okay.
So that way when we go to put them on your board, we
know how to line them up.
We know exactly where
Very
they go.
cool.
Got it set up on my computer, and we're going to do what's called focus. So the bed is going to rise up to meet the laser, and it's going to focus the laser so the laser beam burns correctly. It's not making a big fat burn.
Okay.
So we're going to focus it, and then what we're going to do next is frame the job. Make sure that it is where we want it on the board.
Okay. Wow, look at that. Just like she said, the laser is getting down there to get focused. Woo. And so by framing it, does that mean it's going to check out all of its four corners?
Yes.
Okay. Boy, that thing just moves around there in a hurry, doesn't it?
Well, and see, and now I know that it is not set where I need it to go. Which means in my system over here, I don't have my origin set where it needs to be. I always, always, always frame my jobs. Okay, I made some adjustments, and I'm gonna frame it again just to make sure it's where I want it to be. That it's on the board and within the parameters of the board.
This is absolutely fascinating. I just love how technology and human interaction can happen together to make something so cool.
Absolutely. So one of the big things with a laser is the laser beam burns so bright when it is engraving or cutting. You never want to look directly at the laser beam because it can burn your eyes.
Oh, okay. That's like
So-
looking at the sun. You don't ever want to do that.
Exactly. What I do is I make sure it starts where it needs to go,
And then you walk away.
I kind of walk away. I'll come back and check it. You never, ever, ever walk
Sit and-
away and leave the building.
Oh, sure. I mean, you have something that's burning wood. You
Correct.
can't leave that unattended.
Absolutely, because things can catch on fire.
Absolutely.
And it may not be the laser's fault. It could be the material that you're burning, but you never, ever, ever walk away. So that's why I have a fire extinguisher over there ready to go.
Absolutely.
Heaven forbid something.
Well, if something did happen, you're well prepared for it.
Absolutely. So now we're going to go ahead and close this because it won't start without the lid closed.
Look at that, guys. Now you can see through there and see what's going. Wow, now, guys, just like she said, you wouldn't want to stare at this for a long time, but because you're on camera, you're able to really take a look at this in a very unique way because you're not actually seeing those harmful laser beams with your actual eye. Now, guys, see all that smoke coming off of there? That's just like Miss Jenny said, it's actually burning the wood and charring the wood. That is really cool. Cowboys and cowgirls, do you have any idea who that might be right there? I mean, it could be anybody. I think I have an idea of whose face that might be, though. Super cool to see that laser do its thing. All right, so while that laser is running, you wanted to go ahead and get some other things done, right?
Yes, so this is multitasking at its finest.
Well, that's good. I love multitasking. I'm not always the best at it, but I do appreciate what it's for.
Yes, absolutely. So what we're going to do next is we are going to make a frame for your sign.
Okay.
So we're going to start with just a piece of wood, and then we are going to use the table saw here, And we're gonna do what's known in the woodworking world as ripping the board. So we're literally going to cut the board down to size.
Okay.
So as you can tell, there's no blade right now. But what we do is you take your wood, and there's a wheel on this side, and it makes the blade come up.
Oh, okay.
So after you're done cutting, you always want to put your blade down. So if you have kids like I do, you don't want them to come and
Accidentally touch the blade or anything
correct,
like that.
because this is sharp.
Absolutely.
So what I'm going to do is you can see how much higher than the wood it is. You don't want it to be that high. So I'm going to lower the blade to where it's just above the wood, where it's enough to cut through it.
Enough to cut through, but it's not sticking up crazy amount.
Correct.
Okay.
So then we're going to measure the distance from the fence here, which is what we're going to put our wood up against, so it's a straight surface. We're going to measure the distance between the fence and the blade to the dimensions or the thickness of the frame that you want.
Okay.
So we're going to measure it down to 1.25 inches.
Okay.
More fractions.
Another fraction.
Yes. So I have a little ruler right here that I use for all my measuring. It's got different sides. This is the side I usually use. I'm going to unlock the fence. So what I do is I always measure from a point down here. So on a saw blade, there's a point on this side, a longer point, and a longer point on this side. So they alternate like that. So I always start down here, and I will measure off the top point down here. And I will find my 1.25 inches. And I will push the fence up to that. You usually have to close one eye, get it just right. Then I will come down to this end and find the point down here, and I will measure 1.25 inches down here. So I have to move this in just a little bit. And then I come back down here, double check that it didn't move. And it did move just a little bit down here. And one more double check on this end. And I think I'm good to go.
So now you just lock in your fence.
Yes, you lock it in.
Whew.
And now it's not gonna move.
That is so cool. And we just learned a very valuable lesson there. Measure twice, cut once. Do we need to say that
Always.
together again?
Yes.
Measure twice, cut once.
Always, always, always. And you know what? I've been doing this for 7 years. I still measure once, and then I have to recut something.
It's a hard thing to get in the habit of, but
It
once you get there, you're in a good habit for the rest of your life.
I end up with a lot of scraps because I didn't measure twice. So
Okay, so now you're just gonna go ahead and rip it, right?
yes, so
We need to put these in our ears?
absolutely, because this is loud. So it's loud, so we're gonna put in hearing protection. And then again, because it does throw back sawdust and splinters and things like that.
Safety glasses.
Safety glasses.
All right, let's get geared up here. There's all kinds of different ear protection for all kinds of different jobs. Today we're using these ear plugs. You just kind of pinch them and put them in there. Whew. And now I can't hear anything. What'd you guys say?
So also, this is what's called, I don't know the technical name of it, but I call it a pusher. And I can use it instead of my hands to push the wood through. You can see where the saw has caught the end of this before.
Oh,
right
wow.
here. It used to come out like that.
Well, that's just an extra way to keep your hands safe because you're using something very sharp and moving very quickly.
Absolutely. And these things can absolutely take off fingers.
Yeah,
And
this is something definitely done by an adult, definitely done by a professional. that, guys. And now we have two completely separate pieces of wood at the dimensions we need them at, right?
Correct.
So cool. All right.
Yeah, so then what we'll do, and actually, I didn't realize it, but it cut them we cut it right down the middle.
Well, that's just about perfect.
That ended up real perfect because we can use both pieces to make your frame. So again, I'm going to lower my blade because I'm done using the saw.
That way nobody can get hurt.
Yes, and then I always unplug it just in case, because all it takes is one little flip of the on button over here and it comes on. So I always unplug it when I'm done.
Wow, Miss Jenny, this is incredible. Is it done?
It is done already.
Wow, look at that. That's my face right there. That's incredible. And there's the bull skull and my name written up there in my favorite letters. This is so awesome. Wow. And I see how that tape can, because like you were saying, it's burning with a laser, so all that smoke and all those things kind of go all over the place. But the tape makes it a really crisp line. Look at that.
Absolutely. See, look at this. This is what's fun. And we'll peel the rest of this off here in a second. Look how clean that is.
Wow, that is cool.
Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of wood, another one similar to this, and then you're going to paint it your choice of color.
Okay.
And then we will put it back in the laser and we're going to cut out your letters.
That is so cool. All right.
Yeah, and then we will, once it cuts out, then we will attach the letters over this. This is kind of our guide of where the letters
just like an outline of where they're going to go.
Correct.
Very cool. All right, so what now?
Okay, so next we are going to pick out your paint color.
Okay.
I have a bunch to choose from. You can go basic black or white, or you can choose turquoise or burgundy, or
I'll make it easy. My favorite color is blue.
There you go.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. My favorite color is orange, but Cowboy Caden, my little boy, his favorite color is blue, but I just really like the way blue looks.
Okay, so we're going to pick.
All right. Wow, that's a lot of colors.
It is a bunch of colors. So you said you like blue.
I love blue.
I have this blue.
That's a really great blue.
Or I have a navy blue.
Ooh, I think this one might show up a little better.
Your choice.
What do you guys think? This one or this one? This one? I think I'm going with this one.
It's a good choice. I like this color, and it's actually one of my most popular colors for men and boys.
Yeah.
All right, Cowboy Jack, what we're gonna do next is I have a piece of wood here to cut your name out on.
Okay.
So when we cut out the letters, it comes out to be almost 9 inches by almost 17 inches. This board happens to be 9 inches by about 3 foot.
Ooh, okay, so it's too long.
It is too long. So what we need to do is we need to measure about 17.5 inches.
Here's that tape measure.
There's the tape measure, and we're gonna draw, you wanna kind of start and draw a couple of lines so you have a guide.
Did you say 17.5?
Yes.
Ooh, all right, here we go. Now, what did we just talk about a minute ago? Measure twice, cut once. So I'm gonna double check those measurements. Those dots that I made on the board right there, that's right at 17.5. Right at 17.5. And actually a little bit over from 17.5. So I'm glad I double checked. We'll make sure we use that one. Okay, we're good to go.
Okay. So we're going to take it over to, this is called a miter saw or a chop saw.
Okay.
And again, safety first.
All right, we've got our safety glasses back on.
So when you are cutting, you can pull it down. Now I don't have my hand on anything that's going to turn the saw on. I just have it on the handle. And this is a guard right here that keeps you from
Keeps you safe, yeah.
So you can see where your line is. Now if I pull the saw down, it doesn't quite line up. You want the lines, because this is the part you're going to use, you want the line to be on this side of the blade. So I'm going to move it just a little bit, and again, this is another fence. I'm going to push it up against the fence, and I'm going to pull the blade down just a little bit, and I can see where it sits.
All right.
So see how it's sitting up against the
I
line?
do. Very cool.
Okay. All right, so we're going to turn it on and cut it real quick.
All right, cowboys and cowgirls, well, let's use this miter saw to cut this up. There we go, fresh cut piece of lumber right there. That is so cool.
Okay, so you can set it down over here. Now it did kind of raise a little bit of
rough edges there.
A little bit. So we're just going to take a little piece of sandpaper, and this is what I was talking about when I hand sand.
Okay.
So we're just going to kind of
knock those rough edges off.
Knock those off just a little bit. That's all we need to do.
All right.
Okay, so now you're going to paint your sign.
Okay, I'm ready.
Paint the letters. Always want to shake up your paint because paint can separate.
All right, well, I'm not much of an artist, but we're not doing any fine lines here. We're just kind of
just painting the
smearing
whole
across.
board.
Okay.
Yes. So the best thing would be to just go edge to edge.
With the grain?
You can go either way. It really doesn't matter, but pick a direction you want to go and stick with that direction.
All right. Well, here we go. Look at that beautiful blue paint. That is so cool.
Don't worry about getting paint on the table.
That's the only time you would hear that. Because normally, if you're at home, you would not want to get paint on the table, but we're in this.
Absolutely not.
We're in Miss Jenny's shop here at the Rustic Peach, and you know, this place is made for making really cool things, and messes are okay every once in a while.
You can kind of push it down to squeeze out the paint.
Okay. All right, well, look at that. It's all painted up.
Looks beautiful. So we're going to let it dry for just a minute. Thankfully, because it's cool in here and the air conditioner is blowing on it, it'll dry pretty quickly.
Pretty quick, yeah. All right, so we've got that board painted up. We put the masking tape on it. You marked the center.
Yes.
Now, back in the laser.
Back in the laser.
All right.
Oh, excuse me, I'll switch spots with you. I think I need some WD-40 on the door there.
It's just talking to you is all.
Okay, so I'm just going to make sure this tape is on here real tight. And then I'm going to lower the bed just a little bit. And move it on down. Now again, I'm going to focus it, and then I'm going to frame the job just so I know it's where it needs to be on here.
All right, here it goes. Laser's gonna go ahead and get started doing its thing. Wow, now if you saw that, it actually released that because it's cutting the wood all the way through to the bottom. You can watch right at the end and you'll see where it breaks free from the rest of it when it cuts that letter free. Here we go. Wow, that is so cool. All right, so while the laser is making my letters cut out, we can go ahead and get this cleaned up, right?
We can. So the fun thing about the tape, this is what I always enjoy the most. It's, as my kids would say, it's satisfying. You can just tear it
All right.
and go.
Whew. Wow, look at that. Because it actually cut through the tape on the letters. Look at that. I mean, that already looks cool, but wow.
So we actually can peel the tape off the letters themselves.
Oh, I see that.
So again, these are what's called scored into the wood. And it's
just like a guideline.
Exactly. Kind of like a template for where we're going to put the letters.
This is so cool. I love this. Now we're gonna have to get all that tape off of my face too.
So you can see there's a lot of little details in your beard, in your eyes, down here in your shirt. So we can peel the big pieces off, maybe.
That is so cool. Oh, there's my face.
Ta-da!
It's like I had a bad sunburn. Always wear sunscreen.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to use an X-Acto knife. This is what I prefer to use. A lot of people use different tools to get these little bitty pieces off. When using an X-Acto knife, though, you have to be very, very careful because these little bitty blades are extremely sharp.
Yeah, I think we'll just watch you do this part. This is really cool.
I have cut myself so many times. I get in a hurry and not paying attention.
All right, well, here we are back at the laser and everything over here is done, right?
It is all done, and we will get this out of the way. This is a fun part right here because when you lift it, the letters fall out.
That is so cool. It's like we made a puzzle almost.
Almost. Go.
Can I pull the tape off of these guys?
Yes, we can go ahead and pull the tape off. Now there are a couple pieces, like you can see where the wood is like just kind of sticking up. So I'm just going to take my sandpaper and lightly go around the edges like this, just to smooth those little pieces down.
Get all these puzzle pieces over here for you. This is so fun. I love pushing these pieces out. That's so cool.
There's a lot of parts of this that are, again, as my kids say, very satisfying.
Look at that, a blue O. It's really fun to pull this tape off because you can actually hear the tape on there. Whew, right off of there. Wow, that is really cool. I can't wait to get those stuck on there. This thing is really shaping up to be a beautiful sign.
It's very fun because it's engraved and it's got the letters sitting on top, so it gives it the 3D look.
This is really cool. Like she was talking about the different dimensions, because these parts, like the cow skull and my face, are engraved into the wood, but then we cut out these letters and they're popping off. That is so cool. All right, so now we just glue them in place?
Yes. So we're going to use a special glue, Star Bond, and this is a very it's like super glue.
Super glue.
Super glue.
So not to play with.
Definitely not. We're just going to do a a line like that. And then you want to make sure you get it exactly where you want it. So once it's down, it's down.
Wow, guys, look at that. Miss Jenny got my whole name taped on there. I mean, glued on there. This sign is absolutely amazing. I just love it.
Well, the next step is, and the final step is, we're going to frame it.
Okay.
So the wood that we ripped earlier down to size, we're going to stain it. Or first we're going to measure it out, and we're going to cut it to size to fit the board. And then we will stain it, and then we will attach it.
Okie dokie.
All right, let's get started. So the next step is we are going to frame it. Now we just have the wood pieces that we cut, and we want them to fit on around
all four sides.
Yes. So the way I usually like to frame is I like the top and the bottom piece to be long, and then like this, and then my short sides will fit between the top and the bottom instead of fitting with the sides long like that.
Okay.
So that's usually how I prefer to do it. That's just my own personal choice. Everybody does it different. So what we're going to do first is I'm gonna cut my short sides first. So I just use this as a guide right here, and I'm gonna put them together like that. And I'm going to make a mark over here at the end of the board, right there.
Okay.
And then we'll come over to the saw, and we're gonna cut right there, and then we're going to do the other side, and then we'll cut the top and the bottom pieces from there.
Alrighty.
So we can tell when we put them up together like that, that it fits that side. And then we will do the same thing over here. So this one, I think I actually cut a little long. You can see right here, if you come in real close, how it doesn't quite fit in the corner. So if I put them close together right there, it's going to be too long down here. I can catch the corner. Feel right there, you can catch it.
Okay, yeah.
So, but looking where I made my mark, I cut a little bit past it. So I need to come back and cut right at my mark.
Okay.
Now it fits perfectly.
That looks just about perfect.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to stain our pieces, and then once that's done, we'll attach it and your sign will be done.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, Miss Jenny gave me these gloves. I'm not sure what we're doing just yet, but I'm putting the gloves on. I think.
Right, so
Maybe?
the gloves are to protect your hands because stain is just that. It stains.
Stain stains?
It stains, and it can stain your hands. There's all different kinds of stains, and what a stain does is when you put it on your wood, it colors it, but it still shows you all your wood
The
grain.
natural wood grain.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
So this is called wood grain, where you have the lines all through it like this, all of that. And this thing right here,
That's a big old knot.
that is a knot, exactly. And
Yeah,
so
but it gives it so much character. It's such a cool feature, right?
it really does. And it's so pretty, and the stain can bring out these different characters that you wouldn't normally see. So what we're going to do is we're going to stain the frame.
Okay.
You can tell I use this one quite a bit. So with stains, there is oil-based stain, and then there's water-based stain. For a lot of my big jobs or framing jobs, I always use oil-based stain just because it tends to have a richer color.
Yeah, look at that stuff, guys.
So this one, you can kind of see how there's the layer on top. You always want to come in and stir your stain. Mix it all up. Shaking it does not really mix it up like you think it would. So I always come in and stir it.
Okay.
All right, and a lot of times I use brushes for staining, but since this is a smaller job, we're just gonna use paper towels. And all you do when you stain is you wipe on, wipe off.
Hey, just like Mr. Miyagi.
Wax on, wax off.
Good job, Daniel-san. Unfortunately, none of these cowboys or cowgirls are gonna know that movie, but it was a big hit when I was a kiddo.
Okay, so stain is also very messy. You're just gonna come in and go like that. And make sure you get all the little cracks. See how it just kind of goes over the top there?
You gotta get it down in
You gotta
there.
make sure it gets down in there.
Wow, this is a dirty job right here.
And you just come back through and wipe it off. And if you want it to be darker, you can let it sit longer.
That is so cool, and you're right, it does bring out all the cool textures and features of the wood. Mm-hmm. Wow.
There you go.
All right, so
Just dip it in.
well, I'm kind of a messy stainer right now, but we'll see how it works out.
And you can actually take all that and then flip it over and put it on this side as well. That side.
Oh,
Just keep going.
All right, well, we've got all these pieces of wood all stained up. It's a really cool process, and I absolutely love how it brought out the features of the wood. But now we have to build that frame.
We do.
All right.
Okay, so like we did a minute ago, we came in and we measured all of our pieces as it's gonna sit just inside the frame. So when we flip it over, we're attaching this to the back of the wood.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, so here we are. The frame is all laid out and put together. The sign is upside down on top of it. So what do we do now?
So now we are going to use, this is a battery operated brad nailer.
Wow, that's
Yes.
that's a lot of words. Battery operated brad nailer.
It is. And it puts these, they come in all different sizes. But
Wow.
this is a little brad nail.
Little teeny tiny brad nail.
And the reason we're using this size is because when it goes through the wood into the frame, you want to make sure it doesn't come out the other side.
Doesn't go all the way through, right?
Yes. So when I'm framing, I always do one side first, and then I double check
That looks so cool.
that nothing has gone through, that it's on, and then I continue on.
I love it. That is so cool looking. I'm getting really excited.
Good. Now a lot of this I do by feel. So I feel if it's
flush.
yes.
All right, so now that the frame is all done, we're ready for the big reveal?
Ready for the big reveal.
All right. Look at that. Oh my goodness, I love that. That is so cool. Man, this just makes me have a big old goofy smile on my face. It's really fun seeing me made out of wood right there, my name cut out of these letters. Wow, and I just love the fact that we got to be a part of every single step of the way right here at the Rustic Peach in Willis, Texas. I have learned so much about woodworking today and got to make this amazing, amazing sign with my name and face on it. That's so cool. All right, Miss Jenny, thank you so much for having us here today. I really appreciate your time and your amazing craftsmanship. I mean, this is more than just woodworking, it's an art form. And what an incredible skilled labor to develop and have and use for yourself. I mean, I just love it. It was so cool.
Well, thank you for coming and thank you for being a part of this and learning a little bit about woodworking and just everything that goes into it. And it's a lot of fun and there's so much that you can do with it.
I feel like I learned so much today. My head was spinning, like my hair was just going all. Are you guys laughing at my hair again? Okay, let me put my hat back on. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you had a blast with me. I'll make sure you're paying attention and following along because we go all kinds of really cool places, just like right here today at the Rustic Peach in Willis, Texas. But Miss Jenny, I can't let you off the hook just yet because at the end of the show, we always do the yeehaw. You think you can do it with me?
I imagine I can.
All right, I'm gonna count us off of 1, 2, 3, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Yeah!